great big beautiful sunset for us to look at there, but that's okay. I like it. Once it's dry, it's dry. We're at the Hillside Church. This is kind of the unofficial sort of HQ, I guess, for AAA. There's always
we've had a few events here recently. We had the big autism exhibition last June with Adam Harris, which was great. It was an autism experience. We had, I think, 300 to 400 visitors over the space of 3 days, and we think the message really got out there about what it's like to live with autism day to day.
Right, you know? And that was a cracker. I was down at that now, and it just seemed to sort of really strike a chord with a lot of people, and it was just a nice way to introduce people to that notion, because everybody, does kind of know what but not really. So it's
no,
I
think that's it, and I suppose the fact that people could really experience it, they got to do all of these various sensory challenges, that really helped, and they were able to get themselves into the shoes of what it's like to live with autism to the extent that people can. I suppose it's not easy.
And what's important was it was kind of fun, which is sort of there isn't that sort of this isn't homework, it isn't
and it's not preachy. It's really about people learning through their own experience, and I suppose that's what we want. It's that we don't want people to see that autism is something you learn about through a book. It's something that you live with, and 1 in 65 children now is diagnosed with autism, so the chances are very high that everybody's child is in class with somebody who has autism. So it's really good to get that message out there so that people are more than just aware of it, that they really accept it, and that they know how to accommodate people with autism as well,
Now we should mention tonight is the AGM for AAA Wicklow. The beautiful Adam Harris is here actually to as sort of guest of honour.
He is.
But I think what's probably more important is the fact that you're kind of not completely stepping down, but your role, that you've been, I don't know how many years you've been kind of in this position now.
I've been on the committee for 10 years, which is a very long time. I then took over 8 years ago as chairperson, and I took over from Simon Harris, who founded the group.
There you go.
Simon was going into politics, and he drew me aside one night.
How's that working for him? Do you know if it's doing
I haven't heard much about him lately, actually.
No,
I think he'll probably be back here looking for his job back.
I must let him know that this is available again.
Tell him there's a vacancy here, exactly. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing, I suppose. Since then, we've worked with various people. They've been fantastic, like loads of brilliant people, brilliant parents. The whole idea really is that when your child is diagnosed, you don't know where to turn, and you really want to talk to people who are a bit further down the road for you than you are, to find out how things have gone for them. And you kind of know that if you have problems now, that it's not going to be the same in a year or two's time. You want to ask someone, well, how did it work out for your child, and have you got any tips that you can share with me? We also organise kind of guest seminars and people who come in and work with us. We've been really lucky to get grants. For the last couple of years we've managed to get grants. This year we got 5,000 from the HSE Lottery Fund and another 5,000 from Wicklow County Council, so huge thanks to them, because
was that the jacuzzi I saw inside the cat? I was wondering where that came from.
Don't tell anyone about that, Paul.
Champagne bubbles so well. Like when you switch it on, the bubbles, man.
You liked it, did you?
Oh wow, it's just great.
No, I suppose what I really feel though is that groups like us, we get massive value out of a grant like that. Like there's no administration cost; it all goes directly to providing something for the children who are members of our group. And many of our parents are waiting a long time on waiting lists for anything from the HSE, and I think we have to say services are not great. You want early intervention for your child, but you find that you're waiting 3-4 years and nothing's happening, and you're getting frustrated. Your child is not getting any better. So what we try to do is we try and train parents so that they're able to do something while they're waiting, and that they're also just able to transfer all that they're learning into daily life. And just allows them to know, I suppose, they're their child's first teacher and the one who kind of knows the child best and who is there every moment of the day with them, and really helps them out.
Well, say now, for me personally, it seems that and I think I spoke with this about this with Adam just before his late show appearance, that it has come a long way in regard to people just being so much better kind of aware of what is out there and what exactly is involved, and it just becomes so much more relaxed. It just seems to be a lot less.
I think there's kind of an understanding now that autism is a huge spectrum, so you can have children at various points and they can move along that spectrum, and there isn't the fear. Maybe I suppose when I grew up as a child, we had a neighbour who had autism, and I actually didn't know that family had 4 children until I was an adult, because he went away to school, so he wasn't included in the community, even though his family were fabulous people. But nowadays that just doesn't happen. You know, the children are here, they're in our community, and you know, we want people to understand what they can do to help. I mean, things like even Super Value, their autism friendly shopping slot on Tuesdays. Yeah, just turning the lights down, music off, making it a little bit more relaxed, calm atmosphere. Yeah. That helps hugely. You know, so
helps
everything
me.
you can do. You know what? We've had feedback from loads of people saying, you know, it's a lot more pleasant because people are really into their music. Hate the piped music that you get in supermarkets.
It's Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, so you know, if you like your music, you're thinking, why are they playing this stuff? You know, and you just would prefer silence rather than bad music. So you know, I'm sure you can identify with it.
It is great, the recognition of more and more of just the fact that people have differences and how it's, but ultimately we're all the same. That you know, we all want the same things and. You know, I would say, you know, the autism spectrum has now gone below gingers. I think, you know, they're more acceptable than, you know, there's a lot of... But yeah, it is a great time, and I do think that people are much more... I think people have always wanted, you know, to be able to help. It's like, it's not knowing what to do just gives you an anxiety, and you just sort of step away. I think that's it,
and you know, some of us are not great at asking people for help either, or at even telling people, well, look, this is what my child has, this is how you can help. You know, and sometimes we need to do that, and maybe Irish people are just less upfront about things like that. Sometimes we find it harder. So it is great that it's much more out there, and people like Adam are fantastic from that point of view. You know, he's such a great advocate, even though I know some of our parents would look and say, well, my child's never going to be like Adam, he's not as able as Adam is, but he would still be a better advocate for someone who has autism than somebody without autism. You know?
Personally, I think he's faking it for the attention, but he is very good.
He's doing a very good job of faking it.
No, it is a wonderful kind of sense of people. You know, a lot of it has been achieved by AAA and others, and Adam's own As I Am, and it just feels. I don't know if you'd say there's a relief, but you're always glad when progress is made on important issues, because the last thing you want is any child anywhere to feel isolation for any reason, whether it be Tourette's or any kind of condition.
Absolutely.
Put them outside the little circle of friends, and the idea that we're just there ready to accept. And to work with that kid and let them feel
and I mean, that's
loved.
It. I think since Sunday, in the last 3 days, I've had 4 people either contact me by email or phone with new diagnosis, and 3 of them are here tonight, and that's fantastic. It's just lovely. I'm delighted that they were able to come here, and that they'll get to chat to other people in the same boat tonight, and they won't feel isolated, you know, and I think that's what it's all about, that we're all in it together, you know.
No, after, it would have been 10 years altogether you've been kind of involved, and certainly 8 years.
Way too
so
long.
Obviously you're sick of all these people you had up to the back teeth with Ashling and with Adam and all that. You're just bored with them.
They're fabulous. I've enjoyed so much, and I've made friends that I wouldn't have made otherwise, and I think that's great. You know, it's broadened my horizons. It's just helped me, I think, to communicate too, because we have people with autism on our committee, and that has been, you know, a challenge for me, because sometimes my communication, I might send an email saying, is there anyone who might think of doing this, or would anyone be interested in, and I get a very direct email back sometimes saying, I don't know, when you send those emails, are you talking about me or are you talking to me? Please be clearer. And it has made me, you know, kind of say, right, I need to be very clear about what I'm saying, and that has helped me then with my own son, which is great, you know.
So. I know there's been a lot of progress, as I said, and I'd only kind of be aware of it now the last few years, but even over that time, I've become so much more aware of you know, personally, but also I kind of feel that there's an overall kind of nationwide, and it's great that people like RT and all that are on board.
That was great, that documentary recently.
And that there is that sense that this is just all about, you know, being able to make people feel good about themselves, and once they're somebody's comfortable, life is so much easier for everybody. There's
well, that's it, because I suppose you don't know until it happens to you, you know, that you know what needs to happen, because people are aware if someone's in a wheelchair, you know what they need. You look at a building and you say, right, they need to go up a ramp. With autism, people aren't still quite at that stage, so you know there's work still to be done, but I think we've come such a long way in 10 years, so that's great.
I suppose to wrap up now, you going back to dancing, or what's your plan?
I was never a dancer, Paul.
I'm pretty sure I saw a video on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that was you.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm going to focus on my family for a while, and I'm going to take up something that's going to be enjoyable and purely for me. I'm going to be selfish.
Roll, that's the way to do it.
Isn't it just?